welcome back with another banger. It's the React Files. Hope you have a good night. If you haven't already, please take a second just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. So let's get straight to it.
Kaylee, I'm home alone, Kaylee, and I can hear myself saying my own name.
Help me, Kaylee.
What the f***?
Kaylee. Kaylee.
Hello? Hello?
Kaylee.
Mom? What the hell is going on? Hello?
Kaylee. Kaylee.
Hello?
Kaylee. Kaylee, help me. Kaylee.
Who's through that? Oh my god. Hello?
Kaylee. Kaylee, help me.
Help us!
Dad?
Turn around.
Mom? What is going on? Hello? Hello? Ow! What the hell? You just see me put that there. What the hell is going on?
Here. Help us! Kaylee, help me!
Oh my god.
I'm here, Kaylee.
Kaylee, here.
We need your help.
Kays, help us!
So the apocalypse is coming and the world is about to end. According to this influencer. Her name's Danielle. So Danielle's an astrology influencer. She's got about 100,000 followers and she believes herself to be clairvoyant. And one day, Danielle's like reading the stars or whatever, and she sees something that freaks her out. There's a solar eclipse coming in the next few months, and she starts to believe that this is a sign of the coming apocalypse. So she gets on Twitter and she starts posting warnings to her 100,000 followers, saying the apocalypse is almost here, saying the solar eclipse is spiritual warfare. She also apparently casts magic spells via tweet, which I didn't even know magic worked that way, but okay. Now Danielle lives with her boyfriend, this guy, Jalen, and with her two daughters, who are 9 and 8 months old. And Danielle and Jalen have lived together for about 3 years, and things have always been pretty good. But as the solar eclipse gets closer and closer, their relationship seems to deteriorate. I'm guessing because she's all stressed out about the coming apocalypse. So, the night before the eclipse, Danielle is totally on edge. She sets out candles and black feathers and tarot cards, but none of that helps. Things are getting really tense for her. And at some point during the night, she and Jalen start fighting. And it gets bad, like really bad. And they start going at it and screaming at each other, and they get so loud, even the neighbors can hear them. And things just keep escalating to the point where it gets physical. And then at some point, Danielle grabs a knife and she stabs Jalen right in the chest. And it's brutal, and it unalives him. And to make it even worse, her daughter is right there, watching everything. Then Danielle drags Jalen out the front door and down the hallway of her apartment building, all the way to the elevator. And it's speculated that she's trying to get rid of the body. But as she's standing there waiting for the elevator to arrive, she starts having second thoughts. So she drags him back down the hallway and back into her apartment, and she leaves him in the kitchen. Then she takes her two daughters and she loads them in her car and she speeds away. And she's in such a hurry when she leaves, she actually left the front door open. And on her way out, she rams into the gate in her building. But she speeds away, and eventually she pulls onto the freeway. Now, while driving on the freeway, she suddenly does something inexplicable. She slows the car down and she reaches over and she opens the door and she tells her daughters to get out. Now, her 9-year-old is in the front seat holding the 8-month-old, and the 9-year-old refuses to get out. I mean, she's probably scared. So then Danielle does the worst thing anyone could possibly do. She forcibly pushes both of her daughters out of the moving car and onto the freeway. And once the kids have been pushed out, Danielle just floors it, and she keeps going, and she eventually reaches over 100 miles an hour. Then, for whatever reason, she steers the car off the road, and she slams headfirst into a tree. Meanwhile, police, they're getting calls from people telling them that they spotted a little girl on the side of the freeway. So they race there, and that is where they find the 9-year-old daughter. She's injured, but she somehow survived and made it to the side of the road without getting hit by oncoming traffic. But unfortunately, the 8-month-old doesn't make it. And around the same time, first responders, they find Danielle's car all wrapped around a tree. And of course, Danielle didn't make it either, and police have no idea that these two crimes are related. But then, a neighbor in Danielle's building is out in the hallway, and they see a bloody trail. That trail leads directly to Danielle's apartment, where Danielle had left the door open. And their neighbor can see inside, and they can see Jalen's legs. So they immediately call police, and police come, and they put 2 and 2 together, and they realize Danielle had unalived them all. That's a sad one. Shout out to mental health.
I'm not gonna lie, that gave me chills. Great story by the real Ray Williams. Mental health is a definite serious issue.
When I first came across this story, I was gonna be quiet because false allegations can really hurt people. But then I looked deeper into it and I found some things I really did not like. Quick recap for people who don't know. This is Micah, the wife of the guy you just saw, Pastor JP at Solid Rock Church. But he had preached the whole sermon and then told them afterwards that she had passed, and he said it was by self-unaliving. Now, it's not just that he preached after a sermon. Everyone's different with grief, but it's what happened before and after. This is all alleged, by the way, and no one has been convicted of a crime yet. First, notice this news interview I'm about to show you, where he already had an alibi laid out with depression, and even brought up that he had her speak at depressions, and he has a clip of it, he said.
It's not just as simple as somebody had some mental issues.
But Miller says Micah battled mental health issues for years, even speaking openly about it to the congregation.
She had struggled with suicide before, and each time, helped her through it, took her to her doctor, and we got through it, and everything was fine. She even gave a few testimonies here at church. We have on video of times where she had battled suicide. But
we even have a video of it? That to me sounds like a guilty conscience. I know as a ministry and a content creator, I don't even know what videos I have. There are so many. So he already knows exactly what video it is and where it is and why. What really did it for me was her Facebook. Look at the first thing it says. Seek justice. Justice from what, you ask? All her friends and family know that she had been being abused. But by who? Micah, you are in my thoughts and prayers. God sure answered me, having you as my friend, letting me know that you are well. Why would that even be a question of if she was well? Take care of yourself till I see you again.
Hey everybody, I just want to let you know that I'm alive and well, and life's been kind of crazy the couple past weeks, months, years. I'm going through a lot and it's hard and it's my cross to bear.
Is that normal to start a video off with, hey everyone, I'm alive and I'm well? Now this is, I believe, shortly after her divorce and also a restraining order against this husband, JP. Which, by the way, church members say that they watched JP groom her from a young age. Pause to read. JP seems to be not new in the church for manipulative behavior. You can see right here where he was trying to separate a husband and wife. Again, pause to read. And this isn't a one-time story. It also happened to this person here whose name I'll blank out for safety. Again, pause to read. Now you can see JP alone with another girl. Now allegedly her name is Susie and her husband also passed away by drowning. I don't know her story, so I'm not going to get into it, but it's weird that she would hang out with a married man by himself and sit on the same side of a table. And I believe this is the same girl that he was spotted with after his wife passed away. Days after. Could be wrong. No, I believe this was her last video from her Facebook page where she's saying that it's okay to leave an abusive relationship.
So today my heart's a little heavy. I've had a lot of women that have reached out to me about situations of abuse. I think I forgot. I knew, but I pushed it in the back of my head just because of my situation. But you are the bride of Christ. Before anybody else's bride, abuse is abuse.
Because of her situation. Now she was trying to tell women in this video that it's okay to leave an abusive husband even if you're Christian. Now I lost the screenshots, but there's also posts of her friends saying that she does not have her phone or access to her Facebook because someone was posting on her Facebook. I wonder who, but let's look at this. Who do you think wrote her obituary? It seems like a lot of things in this obituary are about him and not her. She would praise her husband after every church service, telling him he was the best preacher in the world. She also told him he was the funniest preacher in the world. That's not normal obituary etiquette. What enrages me so much is how she was such a good person. Look at her caring about other people before herself, to then being manipulated from a young teenage age. And this is the mom's post. My daughter Micah was found Saturday in Lumberton, North Carolina with a fatal gunshot wound. A no contact order and divorce was filed just days before this tragedy. We also have Mr. Preacher bragging about having access to a plane or being, powerful. And then we have a deer in the headlights. Of course, 3 days after the passing, he's seen with other girls, allegedly. I'm not sure. So what do y'all think? Guilty, not guilty, or unsure?
Shout outs to Inspired by the King. Yeah, we started talking about this in the last episode. I was wondering if he would pick up on it. And he did. I'm happy he did too. I'm not here to say who's guilty and who's not. It's not my job. I'm just here to say it looks fishy to me. My condolences to the family of Micah.
So Saudi Arabia just experienced another horrible storm and they experienced severe flooding, and look what the results were. Fish is falling out of that sky. Why is that fish so soft like that? Fish is falling out of the sky, y'all. What? What is going on? Bro, I just showed y'all a video of something falling out of the sky in Indonesia, and now fish falling out of the sky in Saudi Arabia. Did y'all see the storm in Saudi Arabia though? Look at that, y'all. Oh my goodness. Do you see how powerful that water is? Oh my, bro, Saudi Arabia is getting it. Wow. This is, what a time to be alive, man. Look at that. Oh my goodness. So what do you think happens when those fish fall out of the sky? Because we've seen this a couple of places. We've seen this in Australia, China, I believe Indonesia as well, and now it's happening in Saudi Arabia. So what do you think that's about, y'all? Is the waters above mixing with the waters below? I mean, there's a reason why the sky is blue, you know what I'm saying? And ships not only fly in the sky, but ships coast on the ocean as well too. They cruise on the ocean. So again, what do y'all think is going on here when we see fishes down here? This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during this interesting times. Please let us know what you guys think about this. Like, comment, and share for more videos like this. Thank you for tuning to my frequency. Let's get this shift. Peace out.
Shout outs to Conscious Juice. He's been on top of it. He's focused. Go to his channel, like, comment, subscribe. Raining fish is crazy.
Scariest close calls caught on camera.
This shit crazy, boy. Final destination. Yeah, literally. Right here. I don't watch me do that.
What's up, TikTok? Back with another video again. Right here in this video, they said a man was attacked by a bear. Hey, y'all know what that means, right? When he got attacked by that bear, I think that was his supper.
I was not expecting that last clip in the laundromat. Could you imagine? Thank goodness for him. That would have been bad. Like I said, man, if it's Brown, lay down. Them bears ain't nothing to play with. As you see by that truck, like some Jurassic Park.
It got wiped out the other 2 times. And that some of that history is in the Amente, Voyages of Mente book. Much more of it is coming in the new book, so I ever get time to write them, because more of it, I have been accessing more. But we need to understand something. There's a pattern in a design that's absolutely beautiful to the evolution of a race. Imagine you're a very high being up there beyond matter density. You're going to create a race. You're a creator god. Not the big god, but a smaller god. We're all faces of God. We all have creative abilities. So you're going to create a race of beings. This beautifully designed, eloquent plan was created by which we'd have 12 tribes, 7 root races, and 5 cloister races. The root races would be a period of time on the planet where one type of being that had one of the strands, one of the flash line sequences, moving the consciousness through this certain time period would create evolution of one DNA strand. That's what each root race did. And to get here, it implies you have incarnations in the earlier root races, or you wouldn't have 3 strands. The way you got to be a 3-strand being was to have evolved first through the earlier root races, which are Polarians and Hibernians. They are actually an etheric matter race that started on harmonic 3 of Earth, which is called Gaia. The physical root races started to come in down through here with the Lumians. All right. They were evolving strand 2. In our seeding, these already got wiped out. We're back up here. They reseeded them again. These 2 were all right. They reseeded from number 3, root race 3, Lemurians. They were working on evolving strand 2. So everybody in this room and everybody on the planet, to be here in a strand 3 body implies you have Lemurian incarnations in your cellular memory that gave you the flash line sequences and fire letter sequences. Associate it with that time period. Associate it with strand 2. Associate it with the 2nd dimensional frequency bands. Okay? These were here 73,000 years ago. That's when they got seeded here. Now, with each root race, there was a cloister race that came in with the purpose of 2 things. First, the cloister race would come in first and birth through the root race potential. The cloister race was a bigger flashline sequence DNA. It had more strands. And out of that, smaller versions would come to evolve the particular strands of the lower parts. So each root race had a cloister race affiliation. 75,000 years ago, the first race to come in physical were called the Urantrians. They had in their flashline sequence at birth strand 2 plus 7 through 12. Now notice with all the cloister races, they have whatever the single strand is that their root race went with, but they also have strand 7 through 12. They held the potential of the 12-strand pattern, anchored it here into the race morph field, so it would be a potential for the races. Because if they just came in with 1 strand, they would have stayed 1 strand. You needed to have a race that would hold these higher potentials while the lower potentials were evolved and the strands were built up to meet them. The process and design of our evolution is literally passing through these thousands and thousands of years of root and cloister race cycles to progressively and very slowly rebuild the flashline sequences of our 12-strand DNA pattern. It didn't have to be that slow, but it was an agreement made by stellar races that would be stretched out over many thousands of years. Because the last time we were up there in this race, we got a little full of ourselves and created some real messes. So there are beings in the higher harmonics that don't want to hear anything about giving humans the key to the kingdom again. Not anytime soon. They want to make sure when we evolve down here, we get it this time, and we learn compassion, and we learn to use our power with wisdom, because we almost blew a planet up when our race was in the higher harmonics. That's how we got down here in the first place. So there's a lot of politics going on in the higher harmonics with the beings who reside there as far as how much humans are going to be allowed to know. When it was finally agreed that they'd even let us re-evolve to get our consciousness back out of being stuck down in this harmonic in fragmented form, they agreed to allow the Mente rescue mission to take place. We fragmented from harmonic 2 the consciousness of the race that was the human race there. Fragmented. Literally, its morphogenetic field blew apart, and little fragments of consciousness just blended in with the dimensional frequency bands down here. And they would have stayed as undifferentiated units of consciousness if the original imprint of their morphogenetic template was not re-entered down here so they could start to build back up into it. It was building our consciousness back up in this harmonic to get back to what we were before we blew ourselves apart. It's hard to understand from our scientific perspective that doesn't even like to acknowledge anything above D3. But it was a very grand evolutionary plan of races over long periods of time to give us back our original potential. At this point, we are here. And when I speak about Aryan race, every one of the root races has all of the colors. Okay, so Aryans are not just white. You know, there are black Aryans, there are red-skinned Aryans. They're basically red, white, black, brown, and yellow were the basic skin categorizations, and there's all sorts of combinations of all of those. So each one of the root races had a predominant cloister race that had a predominant one of those colors, but then they would have all of the other colors in each race. So every race color was represented equally in all of the root and cloister races. Now, we've managed to evolve through our Lemurian period. The next one was to evolve strand number 4, or strand number 3, in the 4th root race cycle. That began with the Branoa cloister. Now, I was a member of this. I had an incarnation in that period, a couple of them in that period, so I remember certain things from that period. Last time they were here was about 72,000 years ago. Before that, before they got wiped out the first time, they were here 3 million years ago. These are ancient, ancient races we're talking about here. Okay? Before that, I believe they came in, no, we didn't get that, yeah, we got that far, 12 million years ago. So when we talk about the Branoa race, which are actually related more closely than any of the other cloisters except the Melchizedeks to the Indigos, we're talking about ancient, ancient races of beings here. This is an ancient genetic imprint. So right now, we've managed to get to the point where we're of the Aryan 5th root race cycle. Most of the people on the planet, and probably few of the people in this room, are of the Aryan root race. Evolving strand 4, just coming into opening up 4th dimensional frequencies into your awareness, just beginning to acknowledge the astral level of existence, just beginning to have perceptions associated with 4th dimensional consciousness. That's where most people are at in our present times. Most people in this room are probably more so in through here or here, where you're working on 4th through 5th strand development, because the information that I'm carrying comes in on a minimum of 5th dimensional frequency at this point. People who can't hold 5th dimensional frequency in their consciousness, they don't have the flashline sequence receptors for it, will not be drawn to this information. They can't process it. They won't be able to grasp it, and that's okay. So the people who are drawn here, sitting in these rooms, learning this stuff, it implies that you have a gene code that has some of the higher strand content to some degree, because that's drawing you in to receive information that's coming in on these frequencies. But most of us, most of the people on the planet walking around out there in Sleepersville, are of the Aryan race, just beginning strand 4 activation. When we see that, and then later we're going to see what the Indigos are, there's a striking difference here. Okay. All right, these guys, the Aryans, started about 65,000 years ago. They came out of the Hibiru cloister. Now, the Hibiru is not the Hebrew. They're different. They're two different race strains, interrelated, but different. Okay. The Hibirus were working on strand 4 plus 7 through 12. They were here about 68,000 years ago. When we look at our race lines here, and I can go right down to telling you, as far as races that exist on the planet now, where they came out of, what matrix they came out of. I'm not going to do that, because right now the consciousness on this planet would take that information and use it to hate each other more. They would use it to divide themselves and to point fingers, I'm better than you are, and to try to dominate each other. So there's a level where I won't plug in the final plugs to tell you, you know, what this race is, what that race is, what that race is. But I will mention what the Hebrews are, because actually all of our seeding has to do this time, has to do with the Hebrews that came from the race cycles before, when everybody got destroyed. Okay? We've had Hebrew-Egyptian lines. This is where all of these root races and all these cloister races came out of in this third seeding, out of the Urtites 800,000 years ago. That's when this whole third seeding process came into being.
800,000 years ago is a long time. Shout out to Secret Stem Rise. That was Ashiana Dean with the education of the indigo, the starseed genes. Very interesting stuff. I find it amazing how much You can learn through our DNA. It's like our DNA is tied to history. You really think about it.
Have y'all seen this glitch yet? Yo, y'all gotta see this. This is in Los Angeles, California. I was just there. Now, I seen some weird stuff in LA, but this by far has got to be one of the weirdest. It's literally a glitch, y'all. She's not moving. Look, and you gotta see, there's a guy that comes right by her, and it doesn't even faze her, y'all. She literally stands there for like a whole minute.
That's actually really concerning.
I don't know what's going on.
The only thing that's moving is the bag, y'all. Look at that. Look, the only thing that's moving is the bag.
Oh my god.
Seriously, this is a glitch. Like, no one is standing at that perfect spot. I'm just being...
Look at this guy.
Bro, what's going on? Ooh. Now watch. Watch this guy come around. Watch this guy come around, and it doesn't even phase her. Watch this. Look at that, y'all. Bro, she doesn't even turn her head. Bro. Look. Oh my god, bro. This game is breaking down. Look at what the hell. Do you think her player dropped the remote, y'all? Cause you know we're in a video game. And this matrix is getting weird more and more every single day, y'all. But let me know what you guys think about this video. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during this interesting time. Like, comment, and share for more videos like this. Thank you for tuning to my frequency. Let's get this shift. Peace in.
A man was working at an abandoned urgent care when this was captured.
Another bathroom. I'm working in a old urgent care that just got shut down. It got shut down before the freeze here in Texas. I'm not sure why it closed down, but it's pretty spooky. I'm supposed to be looking for a leak in here. This bathroom. Creepy hallway. Real spooky place. Another bathroom. Used to be upstairs, had to put your shoes in this little cubby. After some further investigation, there's no one else in this building. I fucking heard someone go down those stairs though. So, I guess this was the meditation room. There's a lot of natural lighting in here. I probably don't need a flashlight right now. Here's the top of the elevator shaft. You can't fucking see anything down there. So here's the meditation room. Kind of looks like the fucking back rooms. It looks very culty. There's a stage up here. It looks like a couple of altars next to them. Creepy. Okay, now I'm getting the fuck out of here. That was it.
You're talking about that second bathroom. I heard somebody say, "I see you." I don't know if you caught it or not. But yeah, I would have got out of there too, yo. Forget this plumbing job. I'm out. Give it to somebody else.
If this video has reached you right now, then chances are that you could have some negative bad vibes floating around in your space and within your home. Thankfully, I've been sent by the universe to pull out and remove this from your space. If you accept this energy purification today, then all you need to do is simply nod or say I accept. Let's begin. For this to be most effective, I would recommend opening some windows so that the negative energies have a space to exit. I call upon Archangel Michael to be present through this healing. May he assist you with cleansing and purifying your space of anything that does not serve you or your highest good. I command any negativity to now leave your space. You are no longer welcome here. I will now proceed to pull out and remove any negativity from your space. Let's begin. Your home and space has now been cleansed and purified with the highest of love, light, peace, and protection. Feel free to use this video as many times as you like. I love you, take care, and I shall see you soon. Bye for now.
Well, thank you all for being here tonight, and I'd like to welcome the new people to the class who haven't been here before. And tonight I would like to talk about where we came from. And when we understand a bit of where we came from, we'll be able to understand a bit more about where we're going. We're part of an evolving race, and that much our science has identified. But what that means, science has not been able to tell us because science doesn't know. There's a lot of speculation as to why we are here, and what does it mean to be human, and what are we connected to. Our scientific traditions tend to look backward in time to find relics to give us answers to those questions so we can understand our past, so perhaps we can understand more about our present and what it means to be human and what we are. Underneath all of those investigations, I do believe we're looking for the purpose of our existence, why we are here. So we look for where we came from, what are our roots, to understand some of what it means to be human now, so we understand maybe where we're going. In tonight's discussion, I'm going to present some information that was given to me by the Guardian Alliance that will be very controversial if you've been schooled in traditional earthly thinking. It is a history, and I'm going to leave out a lot simply because it would take a very long time to cover the whole history. But it's basically a history of our origins, and our origins are very different than what science has at this time formulated their ideas around. We did not come out of the apes, they came out of us, some of them. The early man, as our history has identified, some of them were connected to us, others were completely independent races that evolved at different times with us, but that weren't connected to us. There's so much to our history that we have not had exposure to, and I would like to bring some of that information to you tonight as it was presented to me by the Guardian Alliance. In order to understand our history, we are also going to need to understand a little bit about the way a 15-dimensional universe works, because there is much more to the universe than our little solar systems, or even than the massive galaxies that we're able to see with our telescopes and the Hubble Space Telescope and all that. There's much more to reality than even those massive things. So I'm going to give a bit of a structure of what it means to be in a 15-dimensional matrix. And then I am going to show you where our basic genetic pattern came from. And I hope I'm able to convey this information to you in a way that somehow, at least intuitively, I can pass on the meaning of this. There is a meaning within understanding these things through which our whole self-concept of a race is redefined. There's a part of ourselves that has been lost for centuries and centuries that has been completely unavailable to us, but intuitively we have sensed a longing for and a lack of. When I was presented with this information by the Guardian Alliance, something opened up in me, and it knew that this was true, and it reconnected me as an individual to the universe. And I was able to find a greater love for our species because I saw its place within the greater scheme of things. We were a grand species once. We were not apes. And to understand this, I hope I can convey somehow through what I discussed this evening, the beauty and the meaning of what it means to be human. And also, once we understand that, where we have come from, we will begin to understand what is our process of evolution, where we are going. Because it is not just that we got this far and we happen to evolve to this place and there's really no direction. Evolution is not aimless. There is a purpose, there is an agenda, there are probable versions of what any species can evolve into, but there is also a primary version of what a species was intended to become. And if we can understand that, perhaps for the first time in at least the last 10,000 years, if we can grasp what we were a part of and what we were evolving toward to become, it can really change the way we feel about ourselves and our race, and we can take an active hand in trying to reach that potential more quickly, because we do have a choice in how quickly we will or will not evolve. So for tonight's discussion, I will begin where I left off with the last class. This diagram here, pretty simple looking diagram, shows the basic conceptual structure of the energy systems for what is called the cosmic matrix. At the center of the cosmic matrix, and this is a center that we will not find no matter how far we send out a rocket ship into space. There's multi-levels of dimensions to go through before you could ever find the center. But there is a center to the cosmos. It is called the Unici, using the Guardian's terms. It doesn't really matter what you call it. All of our religions have taught us about this using the concept of God, because it is not just an energy source through which the whole universe is continually and perpetually fed energy. It is a source of intelligent identity as well. It is energy identity. And everything in the universe is composed of portions of identity out of the Unici. We are all composed of particles that are conscious units of the Unici, which means we are all composed of particles of the consciousness of God. And that alone, for me, was a very moving concept. And it's very true. This is where science and religion comes together. Energy and identity go together. Identity is energy, and energy is identity. The central source of that is the Unici, and it doesn't matter what you call it. You can call it God, or you can call it the Unici, or that great central source that we come out of. But it is there, and it creates and forms and holds together perpetually, forever and eternally, the entire electromagnetic structure that the rest of the universe is built upon. So the dimensions flow through each other. So when I'm speaking of a 15-dimensional matrix that we're evolving in, we are evolving in one of these. Now, in our 15-dimensional scale, which would be this one, the energy particles, basically, even though we have them when we look under our microscopes, you will see particles that move clockwise or counterclockwise. The general flow of the microparticles in our system moves counterclockwise, while in the parallel system move clockwise. So you have two counter-rotating 15-dimensional scales superimposed within each other. Right now, in our 15-dimensional scale, we are right around in the third dimension. But there's really more to it. That's where our consciousness is stationed as individuals. We are focusing in and perceiving through three-dimensional perception. And I'll explain a little bit more about what that means in terms of the dimensions below it, because it's more than just three-dimensional perception that we're seeing when we look out here. Okay, so I just want you to understand the basic layout of what a 15-dimensional matrix is. Now, this was material that I covered before. Now we're going to go into a bit new material. If I can do this without knocking down the light. There we go. Okay. My discussion tonight is going to get into where we came from, where we're going as a race. All right. Here again, is our 15-dimensional scale within our 15-dimensional matrix. Okay? In the 15-dimensional scale, there are something called harmonic universes. A harmonic universe is formed by 3-dimensional bands and how they relate to each other. And in between every set of 3-dimensional bands, there's something called a repulsion zone, which is an area of magnetism that literally forces the dimensions away from each other. So each harmonic universe will become a sort of spherical reality field that is separate from the one above it. They have a different rate of pulsation of particles. So even though they are taking place in the same space, individuals focused in one harmonic universe will not be able to perceive the activity or individuals focused in another one. And this is the basic structure of what we are living in here on planet Earth in the galaxy that we know. We are in something called the first harmonic universe. It is composed of dimensions 1, 2, and 3. Dimensions 4, 5, and 6, which are the ones that are the next up in the dimensional scale, they would represent our next stage of evolution. They represent the second harmonic universe. The third harmonic universe would be represented by the center, which is dimensions 7, 8, and 9. That is the harmonic universe that every one of our consciousness had to pass through in order to expand itself into the 15-dimensional matrix. Through the third harmonic universe, we will also be able to leave the 15-dimensional matrix. The 15-dimensional matrix is what gives us the quality of perception we call time and growth through time. When we evolve through this scale and return through here.
And that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed tonight's rabbit hole. If you haven't already, please take a second just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. So what we gonna do, y'all? That's right. Run these numbers up. Thanks again. Until next time.